medicine to engineering, the upside of war has always been technological progress, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that watchmaking aligned to this trend. Following their extremely successful reinterpretation of the First World War trench watch, Vario's take on the field watch of the Second Global Conflagration is as well built as we've come to expect from the Singapore microbrand. This is Vario 1945 D12. To understand the design of this watch, one needs to go back in time 79 years to 1945. That was the year when the British Ministry of Defence set out in a mission to provide their troops with reliable watches. As most of the British manufacturers were impacted by the ongoing war, Swiss watchmakers were tasked to produce as many wristwatches as they could while adhering to a strict set of design criteria. A total of 150,000 watches were delivered by manufacturers like Jaeger-LeCoultre, IWC or Omega. There's a little known fact about the Dirty Dozen, as the 12 producers that manufactured these watches were lately dubbed. There was actually a 13th. However, after it was discovered that Enicar were also a supplier of the Third Reich, that order has been scrapped. I have uncovered this fabulous bit of information along the photos which I've used for illustration in an article I have found on the website A Collected Man. I will leave a link in the description of this video for your enjoyment. It really is a must-read. Coming back to the 1945 D12, Vario have kept a lot of the features specific to the standard, but also brought in some modern touches, some for aesthetical considerants and a very big one because of technical limitations. As it's the most polarizing feature of the watch, we might as well start with it. The crown. Unfortunately, I am yet to see a single reviewer presenting this as more than a quirky choice. The simple explanation is that outside of a few less than stellar Chinese calibers, the only available and affordable mechanical movements with a small seconds complication are the Miyota 8-2 and 8N series. Their unique and maddening characteristic? The small seconds subdial sits between 4 and 5. So, in order to adhere to the strict rules of the Dirty Dozen watches and place the subdial at 6, Vario had to shift the caliber inside, thus moving the crown in its actual position. Nothing controversial about the svelte profile of the D12. Nice to see a multi-volume construction divided by discrete chamfers with the polished bezel separated by an equally polished ring from a midsection that ends in well-defined drilled lugs. Bordering the flat sapphire crystal, the brushed top side of the bezel offers a nice counterpoint to its shiny sides and a welcome transition to the matte frosted dial. At first glance, this might look like a sterile dial, but there's a discreet etching of the Vario logo under the 12 o'clock numeral. Above said numeral, between two lume pips, sits the traditional marking for crown property, the broad arrow, leading to a railroad minute track interrupted every 5 minutes by lume plots, including at 6 o'clock, where the classic font numerals make room for the small second subdial, whose different texture enhances legibility and draws the attention to the simple unlumed white hand, while the proportions of the syringe, hour and minute hands are perfect. Finally, because of its position, the crown is oversized and boasts an unapologetic polished finish, which gives me a nice segue into the fit and finish section of the review. I truly am impressed by the fact that, despite this being a faithful take on the Spartan design of the Dirty Dozen watches, Ivan has still managed to apply 3 different types of finish to the 3/16L stainless steel of this tool watch, and they're all executed to the standard we've come to expect from the Singapore microbrand. One other thing we've learned to appreciate about Vario is the quality of their straps, but I have to confess I'm not over the moon with the black Cordura strap the watch comes with. It's quite stiff and looks prone to fraying. Another aspect I'm not pleased with is the longevity of the loom. The initial output makes the C3 BGW9-like pattern extremely appealing, but it takes less than 5 minutes for the watch to go Black Ops style. What's not really stealthy is the A2S5 caliber powering the watch. This is the first time I feel the need to talk about the noisy rotor, and that in itself is an indication of just how loud its unidirectional spinning is. That being said, the A2S5 is the updated version of the Miyota caliber that hacks, hand winds, and has a power reserve of 42 hours. While its spec sheet is stating NH35 levels of accuracy, the feedback I've collected puts the 3 Hz movement's precision within -10 to +10 seconds a day. Although this is the gilt variant of the caliber, it stands behind a solid caseback that, in combination with a screw-down crown, allows the D12 to withstand 10 bar of pressure. By opting for 18mm straps instead of 20mm, Vario have made sure this watch will wear true to its 37mm diameter. This means that people like me, with my slightly above average 19cm wrist, would probably consider the D12 too small. And I agree, on a 2-piece standard strap, the watch is overpowered by the wrist, despite its relative long 45mm lug-to-lug distance. Luckily, if luck has anything to do with Ivan's design prowess, there's a way of circumventing this issue: the bond strap. While reviewing the 1918 Medic a year ago, I fell in love with the classic bond that watch came with. This, let's call it half bond, reminded me why. The crazy horse leather it's made of is not only supple and soft, it ages like fine wine. Honestly, the patina that this strap developed in less than 2 weeks of wear makes me recommend it wholeheartedly to anyone enjoying a distressed look, complementing the natural patina of a bronze watch or the tooly nature of a field watch like this one. And by saying this is a field watch, I believe I've already given you my verdict on its versatility. A so-called beta watch by definition, despite its polished accents, this one will sit out the boardrooms and cocktail bars, but will feel right at home in the middle of the elements, and its vintage vibe will add a touch of ruggedness to the urban attire. And this ability to add a striking note to a modern men's wardrobe is furthered by the other dial variants the D12 is available in. While the black variant I'm reviewing will be restocked in August, the other 3 colors are available straight away on Vario's website for $368. Shipping is included, and signing on for the informative and unintrusive newsletter will give you a 5% discount, which I, again, recommend you use it on an additional strap. Vario are well known for their customer care, and having recently inaugurated a new office, their already stellar logistics will have improved ever so slightly. To conclude, if this watch was good enough for the British Ministry of Defense, it's gonna be more than sufficient for your EDC. Sure, there are cheaper Mecha Quartz or Chinese-powered Dirty Dozen watches out there, just as there are Swiss-powered ones for double or triple the price. In my opinion, this watch is dedicated to those that want an honest timepiece for an honest price, and the guarantee of solid watchmaking and customer care only established microbrands can offer. If you can ignore poor technical quality, you can watch my review of the 1918 Medic here, or you can click here for my most recent review. Like, comment, subscribe, help me help you get the watch you want.